starting another session today. And again, as you guys indicated in class, this is probably going to mostly review, but we just want to keep building on kind of this route that we're on to get ourselves to fractions and common denominators and all those sorts of things. So multiple, which I'm sure you guys know, a multiple is just the product of two or more non-zero whole numbers. So anytime I multiply two non-zero whole numbers, we're going to get a multiple. So a 10 would be a multiple of 5, because it's 5 times 2 gets you to 10. 38 would be a multiple of 2, because it would be 2 times 19 gets you to 38. Common multiples then are multiples when a number is a multiple of two or more numbers. Well, 15 is both a multiple of 5 and of 3. Then the least common multiple is the least number that is common multiple of two or more numbers. So if we're looking at the numbers of, let's say, 3, 5, and 6, the least common multiple there would be 30. Because while common multiple for 3 and 5 is 15, that is not a common multiple for 6. We'd have to go all the way up to 30. So go ahead and make sure those example or those definitions are copied down, and we're going to take a look at just how to find some common multiples between some numbers. So example 1, we're just going to list the multiples. Now, it's going to be very important that you recognize the difference between a multiple and a factor. A factor is something that goes into a number. A multiple is something that you multiply that number by to get something else. So for instance, if I said list, we'll say the first 6 multiples of a number. So if I gave you the number, say the number 4, and I said list the first 4 multiples. Well, 4 itself is a multiple of 4, because it's 4 times 1. The next multiple would be 8. 4 times 2. 4 times 3. 4 times 4. 4 times 5. And 4 times 6. So the first 6 multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. So if we were to do that then with 13, so let's go with something a little less repetitive. So the first multiple then is 13, the second would be 26, 39, 52, 65, and one more is 78. So the first 6 multiples of 13 are 13, 26, 39, 52, 65, and 78. So again, those are multiples because it's 4 times the number to get these multiples, 13 times another number to get these. So now that we've done that, let's take a look at finding common multiples. So if I wanted to find the LCM, remember that LCM is the least common multiple, so I'll use that very often, between 2, 3, and 6. So now, again, try to make sure you're differentiating between multiple and factor. The last section was on factors, this section is on multiples. So what we're going to do is we're going to list the multiples. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. With 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. And then with 6, first one is, oops, not 1. 6 times 1 though is 6, 12. So notice there's multiple multiples. 2, 3, and 6 all have 6 and 12 both in common. But the one that we want is 6, because it's the least common multiple. So let's take a look at 2, 3, and 9. Again, some of you maybe will look at this and just know the answer. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And then 9 is 9, 18, 27. So notice as we go through and look at this, we see that there is 18, 18, and 18 in all three sections. So the LCM between 2, 3, and 9 would be 18. And that's really all that's to finding least common multiples. So we'll take this a little further in class, but this is just a general review of how to find those least common multiples. And again, as I said earlier, this will lead us into finding the least common denominator, because the common denominator is simply the least common multiple. So we are going to eventually be applying this to fractions here in the next couple of weeks.